Okay, enough of that. Today is Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. We are deep into spooky season, and this is our weekly cult meeting, Wizard Wednesday. Channeling in from the Quantum Downs, this is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul. And joining me a little late is.
The bear.
Wait, is that me or Bear? Me. It's
Dotta,
me.
did you make it?
Yep, I'm here. Hey.
Amazing. Amazing.
Were you just playing Nightman or Dayman from Always Sunny?
It's definitely something from Always Sunny. I've never seen that show. This was a Jitsi request.
Oh, I was gonna say me and Jitsi. Wait, wait. I'll tell the story later on because it's very pertinent to last week's story.
It looks like Jitsi wants to say something.
Oh God,
Here
Jitsi.
we go.
I've spent way too much time with Jitsi.
Not enough time, more like it. Everybody should know Dayman. I mean, it's like an internet meme in itself. Even if you don't always watch It's Always Sunny, like 80% of the internet knows that song, and it's amazing. It'll get stuck in your head tomorrow. Guarantee it.
It's genius. Let's. We're already on the tangent. Can we stay on the
Yeah,
tangent?
stay on it.
Everybody. Jitsi. Okay. Well, so I'll lay the groundwork. Then Jitsi, you lay in the details.
Okay.
Basically, I went to Boston last week, visited my daughter at college. Then I went down. I saw Jitsi and Chetta in Connecticut. Had a night. Then went down to New York, and then it was like Comic-Con all like it through from like Wednesday ish to Sunday, and it nearly killed me. I'm just now getting back from being sick. Anyway, Friday night, a friend of mine that I grew up with in Philadelphia, who I used to play music with, is playing at Radio City Music Hall, opening up for the Always Sunny Philadelphia podcast. So the guys, the three leads of the show, have a podcast, and their high school buddy from Philly is opening up, and my buddy's playing with them. And so me and Jitsi get to go backstage at Radio City and like hang out. We watch the whole entire concert from the side of the stage. Thousands of people there. It's a sold out show. It was super cool. And they played that freaking song live while we were standing right there. Remember that, Jitsi?
You hit every single note I wanted to play. It was a fantastic experience. I'd never been there before. It was super fun to hear that, and it's like the podcast and everything else, and hang out with the band. And it was a really, really fun night, not just for everybody that was part of the band and playing, for me as well. It was super cool. I'll never forget it.
Did I not show you a good time, Jitsi?
I mean, mediocre time at best, but you tried.
Shut up. It was amazing. We got to hang out with Rob McElhaney. Oh, and then we're hanging out at the. First of all, me and Jitsi are just like pouring drinks by ourselves upstairs backstage, half the time, which was really fun. I have some really good photos. I should probably just drop them in the secret tower. And then we go to the after party, and then lo and behold, I look over and Alexis Ohanian's standing there. So then we're like going and talking with Alexis, and then got to meet Rob McElhaney, and anyway, it was super fun. We can get into the actual work part of Comic-Con later on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bear. I thought we sent you on a business trip, but it sounded like you just jacked around the whole time.
There was some jacking, but there was also some working. Trust me, there's plenty of working.
Did you embarrass us in front of Alexis?
Oh, absolutely not. I may have embarrassed you, but he thinks highly of me.
Oh, okay. Great. Next time I'm going on the business trip.
No, it was good. It's always a good sign when they're like, okay, now it's time to take the selfie. And I was like, all right, he wants to take the selfie. I wasn't going to do it.
Okay.
He did. But then he didn't post it. I got to text him. What's going on?
Yeah. All right. Well, great intro to the show. We've got a lot to talk about. Yeah, I mean, Bear went to Comic-Con, among other things, it seems. We want to talk about the upcoming Halloween event, Nightmare Run. Our Goblin Town proposal has been submitted to the Ape DAO. It looks like there's a few questions about that in the Secret Tower. Happy to answer all of them. And then I think we've got a few cult members who want to come up and just talk about a few things. I think we're going to get a bedtime story from Sharon at the end of the show. So looking forward to that. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, and then we've got some cult questions. So I guess before we get started, Dotta and Bear, you guys were just on a space before the show started. And besides all the Goblin Town stuff, I thought a really interesting question was asked to you, Dotta, which is, what does it take to become a cult leader?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I was asked that question, and I don't think the host was prepared for my answer, which was that you need to convince the people around you to sacrifice their soul to a jelly donut. Uh, and then I don't know if anyone was listening in. The host basically said, "Okay." When I heard that, I was gonna rug the space and turn it off because we need to keep the space professional and not weird.
It totally,
I was
dude.
like, "Do you
It
not?
totally freaked him out.
Yeah, do you not know who you invited up here on stage?"
I think that was his attempt at humor. I don't think you
Was
actually
it?
freaked him out.
Okay, that's good.
But yeah, I mean, let's just jump onto that. So what were you guys talking about? And I guess how does that relate to Goblin Town?
Yeah. So we hopped on the space with some folks from the Ape DAO Council to kind of go over our proposal. So we submitted a proposal to them to make Goblin Town ApeCoin exclusive. So what that means is that not only will like holders of Forgotten Runes tokens get an airdrop, but as well as some of the Yuga holders will get an airdrop, and then we'll basically use Ape coin as the currency for the mint and for kind of the like ongoing transactions within the game that kind of happen. These external transactions. What do I mean by that? Well, in the game, you earn resources as you play the game, right? So when you place your settlement on a tile, you will earn resources that are within the game. You'll earn your Cobalt Kool-Aid and your shards and sticks and all these things and chickens, and you'll use those to buy card packs and to buy houses and settlements and soldiers and all of these things. So that happens kind of like within game, right? There's these in-game resources. Those resources. The sort of five core resources, the shards, the chickens, the Kool-Aid, those are actually, they're not ERC 20s or anything. They're just basically part of the contract of the game. They're not actually transferable between accounts. What is transferable between accounts is the NFTs, right? So if you have this really rare goblin boss, you can sell that on the open market. Or if you have your roads and settlements, all these you can sell, but you can't trade kind of these internal resources. But within the game, there's a way that you can spend. You can basically mint other cards that can kind of give you this sort of grab box of loot to kind of play within the game. And so, basically, any of the economic sort of cycles that otherwise would be used for ETH, we're going to be using for ApeCoin, powered by ApeCoin. So, assuming the resolution passes, right? It might not. So, if it doesn't, we'll just mint those things in ETH.
Yeah, I just want to talk about why we're submitting to ApeCoin and going ApeCoin exclusive. We talked about this a few weeks ago, and I thought we were clear, but it still looks like there's a little bit of confusion or wondering why we're doing it. The two biggest reasons are, number one, we're always trying to find ways to scale to other communities, and this is just yet another way to bring one of the biggest communities out there, the Bored Ape community, into our ecosystem. We do this a lot. We did this with ordinals. We did it with Halloween last year. We're doing it with Halloween this year. And so this is just yet another example of doing that. And then a second big reason is this gives us access to a much larger prize pool than we would have otherwise. Without the ApeCoin proposal, I don't even know if we'd have a prize pool at all, or at least it'd be much smaller.
Yeah, and one of the things that's been really fun is like we hop on these calls with apes, and it's just like so complimentary, right? Like they're like, we have the apes who are kind of part of the cult, of which there are many, right? I think there's some 100 or so holders, or maybe a couple hundred holders of Forgotten Runes that also hold apes, and the apes that know us vouch for us. They kind of come up on stage and they're like, oh, someone in this last space was saying, I love the mint. I just remember at the time the mint was like the best mint I'd ever taken part of. I still remember it. And People saying, "Oh, I've used, I participated in the Halloween event. I know these guys are really good with details." So I think that our community has a good reputation, but I think, one of the things that we've always kind of sensed over the last couple of years is that it sometimes feels that a there's like some messaging about Forgotten Ruins that doesn't always reach the some of the holders of these other projects very deeply, right? And so we really see this as a moment where it's very quiet, that even if this proposal fails, a lot of apes are kind of like paying attention to the stuff that we're creating. So but yeah, and then the other part, like you said, the prize pool. If we do a mint, for example, what we're asking from ApeDAO is a prize pool of 500 K USD in ApeCoin. Um, if we do a mint, I don't think that we will probably do a prize pool. We'll probably keep that money as revenue for the company. Well, those would be great things about doing it. So better attention from one of the best projects in the space, and then a bigger prize pool.
I honestly don't see a downside. If you're sad that you have to buy ApeCoin, I guess my question is like, why don't you have some ApeCoin already?
We'll
Like,
we'll make it easy too. We can integrate it into the UI to make it easy to kind of like get a hold of ApeCoin.
yeah, I mean, it's a ApeCoin is a massive, I guess, like it's a big coin in the whole NFT ecosystem. So it's used for tons of other things. Get a bag. But
Well,
I'm
Are you shilling ApeCoin right
yeah, I
now?
was gonna say I'm not here to shill ApeCoin, but I'm just like it's just like everybody here is like shitcoin trading 1,000 other tokens. Like, what's the problem with buying some ApeCoin? I don't know.
right.
Well, I think it's
Yeah, we
I
should
mean,
have taken Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic Inu.
Yeah,
Nobody would say anything
exactly.
about it. Yeah.
I have a bag of that. Let's do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
do that now. Let's get some Mog. Help my Mog bags. No, I just think it's like tap into an ecosystem where there's like a lot of liquidity and people have nothing to do with it. And for the most part, they were just looking for games. And we also, the other thing is like people. I mean, I think we talked about, it, but it's like we didn't seek this out. This was like something that someone came to us and proposed, and it could get voted yes, it could get voted no. It doesn't matter. The game is mostly built and going to get released. So there's this isn't the only option.
No, not all the only option.
Cool. All right. Well, anything else on Goblin Town?
We're implementing teams. So like you can pick a team according to like some of the collections that you own, for example, right? And so we will like allow list which collections can have teams, and so it'll be sort of the a group of projects that you all know and love. And the way that the teams will work is, I don't think that it will allow friendly fire, so to speak, insofar as like teams within the game will be how do I say this? Like not optional, but like it's more of a signal than anything else, right? This idea, like we'll put in the UI, like, are you sure you want to attack this person? They're on your team, right? So it'll be like a deterrent. And the idea is that teams that collaborate will do better, and you can only join a team of the NFTs that you hold. The I haven't. I'd be curious to know what the community thinks actually. If we should do Forgotten Runes as a team overall, or if we should do like a Wizards team and a Warriors team. Let me know what you think. Right? I mean, one of the things that I would love, I'm not going to. My plan is to not like allow any team that sort of has like a lower floor than Warriors, for example, right? Like I could imagine Warriors being the collection with the lowest floor, and then hopefully people who want to be on the Warriors team will like collect Warriors, right? If you for example don't own some of the other like blue chips, but you still want to be on a team and not just play like as an independent, you'd be incentivized to buy Warriors. So let me know, though. I think we can decide. I guess maybe it's fine. Like Warriors and Wizards and Souls could be on the same team, or they could be separate teams. I don't know. So tell me your thoughts in the chat. I'd be curious.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of people chatting about it now. There was a lively discussion before, but now it's dead.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, well, okay, so yeah, that's Goblin Town. Man, I hope that proposal gets voted in. If anyone here has any ability to help it pass, then please leverage that to your best ability. Okay, another really fun event that we have coming up. I'm actually almost more excited about this. And this is, I would say, this is thanks to Bear and our good friend Board, who I see in the audience. Bear, well, we talked about this last week, but any updates you want to give?
Yeah, we played a freaking playable of the Halloween, first iteration of the Halloween experience on Monday. I think I was in the deep trenches of fever, but oh my god, it was so much fun. It's I forget. Did we talk about what happens in it at all, or not really?
Um, did we talk about what happens in the experience itself?
Yeah, we didn't talk about that, did we?
I think we did. Yeah, I mean, I think we said
Let's
like,
talk about it again. Not everybody knows. Here, let's start at the top. Yeah.
Basically, if you all remember a few months ago when Yuga did some other side demos, this is what we said last time. Where you basically saw like literally 1,000 players running around in a big 3D experience at once. We're basically doing the Runiverse version of that with this awesome team called Improbable. It'll be on Halloween. Every wizard and soul will be invited and allowed to play, and you'll be able to use your wizard or soul character. I'm not sure if we said
And
anything beyond that.
and and if you're not a wizard or a soul, there's going to be options for you to play as other 3D models as well. So it's open. It's literally
Yes.
open to everybody.
Yep.
So don't you worry. Don't you worry your little tuckuses. You warriors. You're gonna be in there running around with us too. Yeah, but it's really exciting. Uh, the Improbable team just has this really great tech stack, and combined with Elf and the 3D teams, like gorgeous, styly, low poly 3D models, it's just working really, really well. Um, and yeah, it's just I think it's going to be really cool. We're building it in like 2 weeks. So we're trying not to have like crazy expectations, but then Probable Team just keeps delivering really cool stuff. So um, we believe in a future where people, yes, there's like this idea of like persistent video games where you can jump in and you're just playing, it's always on. But I do think that there is a bright future for like virtual events that are like appointment viewing or appointment playing, where you go to a place at a certain specific time in a certain server, um, and you do an activity, right? It's a concert, it's an activity, whatever it is. You're there for half an hour, 2 hours, and then you pop out, right? And I think I think there's a way. I think there's a version of like building a live nation that throws virtual events on a frequent, consistent manner. And I think this is like one cool little experiment on the path to that.
Yeah, let me give a few more details actually. So we are basically recreating the Vampire Mist. It's on our map, so you'll be able to run around in the Vampire Mist. Um, we remade the Imp's Door all in 3D. I think you guys saw. I teased some images of that last week. The Nightmare Imp himself will be a main character in this event. Um, and yeah, like Bear said, even if you don't own a Forgotten Runes character, you can still play. We've got a special character reserved for you, and we're even looking into ways to invite a bunch of other outside projects. Basically, how we did Trick or Treat last year. We've got some fun ways we're going to incorporate a bunch of other partner projects, I guess, or just invited projects. But I don't know if we can say too much about that yet. And we're also looking into you will be able to receive a special Halloween NFT token. And I'm not sure it's if you just participate or if you actually complete a challenge within the event. I don't know if we've solved that part yet.
Yeah, I think there's a couple open-ended things, but we're gonna polish off the details. But I think everybody's gonna have a lot of fun. That's what Halloween's about, right? You go out, you hang out with your friends, maybe you get scared a little bit, you get lost, you get found again, you get scared again, and then you go home and go to bed.
Yeah.
It's basically Halloween. You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say. We're definitely trying to blow this up as much as we can. I would love to see at least 1,000 people in there between the cult and everyone else. Um,
I'll
Dotta
tell you
did,
something.
yeah.
Say those 3D souls blew my mind. And I know that it sounds like I'm full of crap because I'm part of the team or whatever, but like when I saw the 3D, this is was a genuine response. When I saw the 3D souls earlier this week, when Waz got them on the website, I was just like gushing over it. They're like, we saw one that was shoot, I forget the name of the head with antlers and the bones, and it was just so beautiful. The texturing was incredible. It looks so sharp on the side. I can't wait to share it with everybody. The 3D souls look such a good. You guys did such a good job.
Yeah, the 3D souls honestly are amazing. Part of it is because like they're like these undead creatures, so they're a little bit more organic. Like one of them is like a full skeleton, so it's just really detailed. The zombies are like asymmetrical, so they just feel a little more organic. The liches just look freaking amazing. The ghouls are almost like NSFW. Like if you play with a
Right.
ghoul character, don't play with them at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really, it's a really cool collection.
Yeah. There's a lot more skin showing on the souls than on the.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, there are.
yeah, for sure. I'm kind of debating if I made the right choice and how much skin is showing with the ghouls. Maybe we'll have to censor them later. But
Some of them, it didn't feel like you even made a choice. It was just, it's all just there, hanging out.
yeah, yeah, they're fun. They're fun. I can't wait to get them out there.
They're fun.
And the beasts too. The beasts are freaking amazing.
The beast looks amazing. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really
So
excited.
people aren't sure. The beasts are, how'd you say, humanoid form factor?
Yeah, sure. You could say that. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, the that is going to be on October 31st. So get your computers ready and invite your mom and your grandma and everyone you know. Feckless, you came up. I think you had something you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Hi, Cult. How y'all
What's
doing?
up? Hey.
Reckless. Let's go.
Yeah, so we are running a black sand race for the next few weeks, 4 weeks, I guess. Um, sorry, excuse me. And it's the Cumberland Cup, so it's located in Cumberland from the Heroes of Cumberland collection that I made last year, almost exactly a year ago. So we've been having a whole lot of fun with that. Wild Mage wrote all the events for it. Bill Gaines doing code, and then Leaf Dojang made some music for like the website race page. So I mean, go check that out first of all because it's sweet. And there's a map of Cumberland on the blacksand.city/racetrack site. Um, so yeah, we've been having a whole lot of fun with that. There is a sweet prize, which is Dowie, the Prince of O, which is one of the one of ones from the collection that I retweeted recently, like about an hour ago.
It's so good.
So I'm pretty excited to get that guy out there. Someone's going to make some great stories with this Doe night. And let's see what else we got. Right. So for the duration of the race, so up until I believe it's just October 31st. It might be into November sometime. I'll have to check a calendar at some point. But for the duration of the race, all of the Heroes of Cumberland, the mint price has been reduced to 0.015 ETH. So it's a little like it's 40% of what they were. So if you want to get some heroes, it's the perfect time to do so.
Feckless. Okay, I did not know about this. The Prince of O, Doey, until just now. Oh my God, he's beautiful.
Can we see some links? Where are the
Yeah, let me see
links?
if I can post it up top. Let me find it again.
Yeah, and then just also Feckless. Like I think I told you at the time, but I want to say again. Honestly, the Heroes of Cumberland are a beautiful collection. They're so good. And what I love about it is they were born of the Cucumpocalypse. They were born of monstrosity,
Yep.
and you took that and just made something gorgeous with it. Yeah, I was going to ask, are they minted out, or it sounds like there's still some available.
Oh, there's plenty available. There's like just over 400 minted, and there's almost 5,000 of them total.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna mint some more after Wizard Wednesday. That's great, man. Yeah, I love the Heroes of Cumberland. They're so good.
thanks, man. I love them too. They're so much fun. Just little hot dog people running around causing mischief. I mean, if the Universe doesn't have little food people, then what are we doing here?
No, exactly. It makes me wonder if like Bread Friend intersects with the Heroes of Cumberland in any way.
Oh, definitely, in some way, shape, or form.
For sure. Ah, man, Prince of how many like one of ones are there in the collection?
Um, I think I think there are 7 or 8, maybe not including like the honoraries.
Okay.
So a total of maybe 15 one of ones.
Oh man, they're beautiful. Okay, I hope I get Prince of O. He's great.
Well, you
The
got to be
game is
racing to
really
get them.
fun. I played
Yeah,
the game a bunch.
yeah. So the game Shucks that came out last Halloween on the day um, will be rolled into this Black Sand race as well. We're still figuring out the details of how to get it hooked up to the Discord bot, but within the next week or so, if you play the game, which is on cucumdog.com/games, uh, if you play the game and put your Discord name into the leaderboard, it should automatically allow you an additional role in the Black Sand race.
Fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's really cool is they're like connected together.
Yeah,
Trying to tie them all together.
love it. Cool. Anything else, Beckless?
That's about it. Just wanted to come up and plug the race, basically. But I'm really excited for the Halloween event. I don't know hardly anything about it because I didn't do any research, but y'all did great last year and the year before that, so I've got high expectations.
All right. Yeah,
Just
I did too.
lower them just a little bit, just in case.
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and then just another thing I just wanted to touch on. Speaking of community-led projects, Runes TCG. There's a tournament still happening with that, and I hear that Kel has been kicking everyone's ass. Um, that's what I heard. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. I've played Runes TCG a lot, and it's a deceptively complex game. Like when I first jumped in, I thought, "Oh, this is super simple," but no, there's real strategy involved. And I've learned that I'm not very good at it. And apparently, Kel has been destroying everyone. So I don't know. Does anybody have conflicting information? Is Kel currently reigning supreme at Runes TCG?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the leaderboard.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's Kel. Oh, Give a Hoot says I'm correct. All right, thanks, Give a Hoot.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. And yeah, Give a Hoot, if you want to come up and talk about any more Runes TCG, feel free. We've got some cult questions, not too many this week. So Maddow, you were asking me, you've animated 3D bats before. Did you have fun with this one? Maddow's referring to this bat animation that I shared. I think it was last week. This bat is going to appear in the Halloween event. It's a full 3D bat. Um, And yeah, so to answer your question, Matt, this is actually a totally new bat rig. The one I made before was more for film and like high res animation, and this one's more optimized for a game. So the rig is much simpler, but I think it actually looks better just because I've just gotten better over time, I guess. Okay, and then SPZ has got a lore question. So SPZ is asking basically about cyborg lore, and if they are somehow connected to the Lich in their semi-undead state. And then speaking of the Liches, can you talk about just some more lore on them? So yeah, I think we've talked about cyborg lore in Wizard Wednesday before. I think it was like a few months ago. But just to recap that really quick, so cybernetic technology is used by all peoples in the universe, including wizards, warriors, souls, and even a lot of the ponies at Black Sands have augmented themselves with cybernetics. And of course, cybernetic enhancements, they're used to increase physical and mental abilities. And in some cases, they can extend or totally reanimate life itself. Um, there are rare instances where cybernetics can interact with magic, which is generally considered a contradiction because magic and technology are thought to be opposites, but there are a few cybernetic wizards out there, which is very rare. As for the liches, so cybernetics are not the underlying reason that liches exist, but liches have certainly dabbled in it. And yeah, the liches are sort of the undead elite. I like to call them the aristocracy of the undead. They're highly intelligent. They're rather sophisticated for being for an undead being. Um, in fact, they've retained a lot of their pain and humanity post sacred flame transmogrification. Um, and they're interesting because personally I hesitate to call any character or race in the universe totally good or totally evil. The shadow hats, the evil goat head, vampires, goblins, none of them are totally evil or perhaps even evil at all. It's really just a matter of perspective and personal ambitions. The good and evil binary is often overly simplistic and doesn't reflect real life. But liches, I find difficult to say anything beyond these are some straight up evil dudes. They operate out of pure malice. They find pleasure in cruelty. They only have ambition to destroy, to weaken, to maim and kill. They thrive in the nightmare dominion, and they fortify themselves in the dread tower, the dark sentinel. There's even some in torment manor. The Lich Emperor Supreme has organized militarized ranks of undead liches and wraiths to basically spread an icy fascism and shadow of despair across the land. Um, so yeah, I mean they're kind of the most elite of all the souls. um, so yeah, I hope that answers your question, SPZ. And then Sharon is asking a really fun lore question about the Elysian Gates. I think this was a topic of conversation for Magic Monday. And Sharon is asking, is there a gatekeeper? Who has the keys to the gates? And will we eventually have a puzzle or a contest in the future in the future to open the gates like we did for the beasts? So yeah, these are fun questions. I think the way I imagine the gates is when you approach them, you don't really see a gatekeeper per se. There's nobody sitting at post. I think there's a Wikipedia entry about the gates, and they're just kind of sitting there at the entrance to the Elysian Fields. The Elysian Fields are a very large, wide, and flat area, and really the only notable vertical structure there is the White Tower, where the White Wizards are sort of fortified. And I would guess if there's any sort of de facto gatekeeper, it's probably the White Wizards in the tower, even though they are leagues away from the gate itself. As for a gate opening event, that is a really fun idea. And I even started typing out things that Magic Machine is talking about with the ponies, and then I deleted it all because if I've learned anything, it's not to talk about things that we're going to do until we are 150% committed to doing that thing. So nice try, Sharon. You're not going to get anything out of me just yet. But that is all the cult questions we have.
I have a
So,
question.
yeah, what up, Bear?
It's actually more of a statement. I looks like I'm number 3 in the Black Sands race. While you were talking, I had to start rolling, and looks like I'm doing pretty well.
So you're placed third. I think that's the highest anyone from Magic Machine has ever placed.
I've been training in the off season. I don't know what to say. I want that goddamn cucumber dog.
Seriously, it's one of the best prizes I've seen. Yeah, I don't even think I'm in this current race. But well, good job, Bear. Maybe you'll win.
Thanks. It's all Nano Ranger. It's nothing. It has nothing to do with me.
Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Bear, I don't think we've given you a chance to talk about Comic-Con. You went to that's the whole reason you went, right?
No, I went to some concert with Jitsi.
Yeah.
No, I went to Comic-Con, and it was quite overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. We went, and it was awesome. I mean, one of the things that I love so much about Comic-Con is, first of all, just feel like there are people. And when I say our, I mean the cult. Um, and it just remains true. It's just people plan all year to go to this event where they know they're going to be with all these like-minded people, and they just let it rip, right? They make these costumes that are so incredibly detailed, and well thought out, and it's just it's like Halloween for adults, although Halloween kind of is an adult holiday also. It's just really cool to see people like dressing up and being super passionate about like stuff that they love, and so the energy there is always just really great. With New York, it feels a little bit more condensed. Like in San Diego, it's right in downtown San Diego. So there's like the Gaslight District, and so it feels a little bit more open and breathable. New York is like really just condensed, as everybody knows, and I'm not a fan of like massive crowds. But so it just feels a little bit tighter. But the crowd was fantastic. Really great positive energy. I think it's cool to go in there and just be walking. Like, one of the biggest reasons I go beyond just our comic book business is just keeping a pulse on what people are really interested in. And so for the people who have never been to a Comic Con, sure, it started with comics decades ago, but now it ranges to everything. It's toys, it's all collectibles, it's animation, it's film promotion, it's all these different things, it's video games. And so it's really cool just to spend hours walking around the floor and looking at what people are into, what's new, what's old, what's coming, what was old that's now having a resurgence. And so it's, for me, it's just a lot of just like studying and understanding what people are liking and what kind of products people are really digging. So that was cool. I also took my mom one day because my mom wants to make a graphic novel. So we went and we were looking for artists for people to illustrate her stories. I also found some really really cool artists to potentially do some cover variants for our forthcoming comic book issues. And then, just down to brass tacks, we had a signing with Riley Brown, who was there at the Unknown Comics booth, which was on the main floor, like right in the mix of everything. And I think he probably signed, I don't know, a couple hundred posters for a couple hundred people who came up, and we were giving them away for free. I also got a whole stack of signed posters that we will figure out what to do with, and to give away for free to the cult. So I don't know if you're interested in having one of those. You can always DM me or Nalgene. We'll figure out a way to get them to you. But I think we'll probably do some kind of fun giveaway. Um, and we had this really big, like expandable poster or standee where people were, we were like every time we would like explain what the series was, people were like, "Oh yeah, this sounds like something I'd totally read." Or they'd scan the QR code with the trailer and they'd be like, "Oh, like what is this on?" Like they just thought it was already on television because they wanted to watch it. It looked such high quality. And so I would just say, yet again, like just getting signal that it doesn't. It's just nice when you're engaging with people purely on the creative and the art and the stories, and not about NFTs and money. And it feels just very very sticky. And so
Yes.
I think that's really, I mean, it's not all what this is about, but I would say there's a lot of things that might not resonate outside of like the financial aspect or element. I think in a lot of ways, like this is like the stickiest part is not the financial. It's like people
Dude,
just
it's the
want to,
IP.
yeah, people just want to like people want to know more about the world. They love this idea of the idea of the singularity, and this push and pull between science and magic, and what's understood and what's fact. And anyway, it's just, I think it was just really great. And even just to see Riley do his thing, talking about the comic, engaging with people, and him talking about what we've built and what he's been drawing. It was just really freaking cool, I gotta say. Comic Con's the jam. Even though it tried to kill me this year, I almost didn't make it back. I probably sound even more nasal than I normally do, but yeah, it was really cool. Sorry about blah blah, but it was a good time.
No, dude, a few things I latched on to. Number one, you're talking about how Comic Con is like our people, and it's so true. Like I remember when we threw that party 2 years ago in New York, at NFT NYC, and I remember I think you in particular like kept describing it as like
That was
the wizard.
last year, dog. That was last year.
Okay, jeez. Yeah, but you described it as like the Runiverse version of Comic Con, and because yeah, we had people in costumes, and it was a similar crowd, and they were all just focused on like a fantasy IP. And yeah, it's just like if that community would just open our arms to like NFTs and whatever, I think they would just love us. Um, but yeah, and then the second thing you said, you were talking about just like the IP is like what's the most valuable. I agree. I mean, that's every NFT project at the end of the day is really just a new media IP project. And we can talk about tokenomics, we can talk about floor, we can talk about games, we can talk about comics, but at the end of the day, it's like all of it is in service of making the IP bigger and better.
Yeah, and it's an X factor, right? It's like, you know, how much like information are you delivering off of like one poster or one standee, and for people to be like sort of look at it and like cock their head and like lean in and like ask questions about like what that is, like
Yep.
walking by all these different things, and like this catches their eye. Everything from like the name itself, Forgotten Runes, Wizards Cult, to the art, to there is this X factor that I think that's always been there. And in the middle of a bear market where we're all sort of in Discord and online, not in real life, and trying to figure out how to like make people feel full, it's nice to sort of get that injection of energy. So it was quite fun. And Jitsi was along there for the ride too, which always nice.
Jitsi, is your PFP a mix of kobolds, Pepe, and that who's the guy? Matt
Yes.
McConaughey.
Yes, it is.
Okay. It's like three meme layers deep. Jitsi, did you have fun at Comic Con?
Yeah, I think like you guys talked about it so much, but like the biggest thing for me is like it's the same thing when you go to Renaissance Fair, right? It's just like there's this energy and attitude and like willingness to be open because it's your people there at like all these places, right? Along with like artists and everything else. It's just really special, right? And I think you can say this about any type of bigger event is like people go there anticipating to be around people they enjoy being around, and you can feel it in the air, right? So just really cool.
Hey, I have a question. I've never been to the Renaissance Fair. Could you actually get on a horse and joust up in there?
I tried, but they kicked me out pretty quick. But you can watch people do it.
I want to joust you.
our, our
Game.
our next party at NFT NYC will have a jousting event on ponies.
No. I already have the real idea. That's a fake idea. You know what the real idea, Alf, is?
Okay, what?
We're going to get a mechanical bull. We're going to dress it up as one of the ponies.
Okay, that's fun too.
And we're going to chuck people all over the place.
Great.
Oh, one last little tidbit, just to rub it in Jitsy's face because you know he needs it. Um, One night we went to a bar with actually some wizards,
Oh, here
and
we
we
go.
played, and you know at that bar they ended up having billiards tables. They also ended up having ping pong tables. And I said, Jitsi, let's play some ping pong. I'm gonna beat you. And he said, and he went on this 5 minute rant about how he was gonna wipe me around.
5 minute rant, he
Maybe
says.
10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe. And then what proceeded to
And then I
happen is,
whooped his ass.
yeah, my ass. I literally beat like all 15 people that we were with, and then Jitsi was the last one, and I beat
Yeah, it
that.
reminded me of like there's this scene from either a movie or a TV show where some dude's at like a party with like a bunch of kids or something, and all of a sudden like a kid approaches him, does something stupid, and the guy just like punches him, and then like it's like a 30-second clip of just some dude like punching kids at a party. That's what it felt like playing against Baron Ping Pong.
Well, translate that, like, because that was kind of hard to. So you're saying I was that good at ping pong?
I'm saying that I look forward to the rematch, and you were marginally better than people at a bar.
Okay, I'll take that.
You beat me though, fair and square.
Yes, I did. I beat Jitsi in a game. In a game, everybody.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
virtual ping pong, bring it.
okay. I actually have one Comic-Con question. Besides the Forgotten Runes comic, what was the second coolest thing you guys saw there?
What was the
Anything?
second coolest thing?
Was there anything cool there besides Forgotten Runes?
I mean, there
Only
was.
Forgotten Runes.
I believe
Yeah.
it.
Gosh, what was the second coolest thing? I mean, this sounds like a cop out, but like, there's this thing called Artist Alley, where so like
Agreed.
the big main floor is like where all of the big companies go, right? All the big comic book companies, all the big TV and film studios. That's like the expensive big. That's where we were with Unknown Comics doing the signing, and then there's the floor below, which is called Artist Alley, and that's where like all the comic book artists that draw for DC and Marvel
Oh
and
wow.
Titan, they all have their own individual sort of booth, and they're just sitting there. And so it's huge, dude. Like, it took me an hour to walk through the whole entire thing. And I think that was the coolest part, is just like you're walking around, you're like, I can't believe how many talented people there are. Like, I feel like there's at least 3 dozen people in the cult that should have their own Artist Alley booth in Comic Cons. You know who you are. Like, maybe we should try to like facilitate that somehow, because that was really cool. It was like all the people who were like making the magic themselves and usually don't get the don't get the spotlight because the publisher's getting the spotlight. That was probably the coolest part.
I have a quick anecdote about a super famous comic book artist. Do you guys know who Jim Lee is? He's like probably one of the top 5 comic artists of all time.
Are you talking about Stanley?
No, Jim Lee.
I think his name's Stanley.
No, not Stanley. No, Jim Lee. One of his most recent was he drew the Batman Hush series. He was really big in the 90s. I'm not even sure if he draws anymore. Anyway, whatever. He's one of the all-time greatest. I actually had lunch with him when I was like 18 years old. because I was like dating his niece, and I got to sit right next to him, and I was like a young budding artist, and I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to ask. All I knew was like I had a legendary comic book artist sitting next to me for like an hour, and I think I asked him some like really dumb basic art question. But yeah, Jim Lee. I'm sure some people in the audience know who he is. He's one of the best ever. But anyway, I'm guessing Jim Lee was not in the artist alley.
Stan Lee was there.
Okay. As a ghost.
Stan Lee's ghost was there. No, I did not.
Um,
I don't think I saw Jim Lee. No.
okay.
Are they related? Can I just ask? Are they
They're
related?
they're not related, no. And that was like a joke in the comic book industry at the time because they both have the same last name.
Poor Jim Lee. Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of great artists, I wanna go over the Cult Content Chronicle, and then Sharon, if you're here, please come up because I think you were gonna read some lore today. So while you're coming up, I'm gonna go over some awesome Cult Content Chronicle pieces. So we are in week 39, and of course, it is compiled by who? Bear. Who?
The illustrious Tanya Del Rio. Every damn
Exactly.
week.
Okay, and I'm actually really excited about this one because we're starting off with one that I thought was really fun this week. This was from our very own Loch Ness Monster. This was, I think, one of my favorite cult content pieces all week. Locke did this really hilarious series that she called Legendary Souls Fashion, where she just did all the legendary souls. And like, I don't know, as if they were walking the catwalk or something. And just like every single one is a banger. Like I can't even choose my favorite. They're all so freaking good. I have so many mixed emotions about AI art, but like this is when AI art really shines. You just do fun stuff like this. So yeah, so that was awesome. And then Locke has really been on a run lately. She did a really fun version of the Nightmare Imp, just sort of helping spread the word about the Nightmare Run. Um, Everyone's favorite Shield Maiden warrior, Joan Danger of Riff Raff, has a really fun piece out. Always great stuff from her. And then I'm trying to figure out what one is. I think just a lore entry from Alchemist Caligula of the Marsh. And then let's see what else we got. Slim commissioned a banner from Shadowy 30 of his Wooden Boy Wizard. Ozma Bro looks like he's working on some really fun stuff for Runes TCG. This makes me wonder if there's going to be some animated cards for Runes TCG or if this is something else, but it's a poof animation. And then speaking of Runes TCG, of course the tournament is ongoing. We mentioned that. Kel is destroying everybody. And it looks like Leaf Dojang is in second place. And then Shadow Wazir did a really fun piece. I think this is of his honorary warrior, the Guardian of the Flame. Really beautiful piece. Sharon did some really fun, an AI gen of these little like rock creatures. I think they're called Rockies. They kind of look like. Do you remember that meme of like people were making puppies out of cookie dough? That's what it looks like to me. But apparently these are rocks.
I remember the first time I saw that, and I was like, no.
Yeah, exactly. And then Schlee made a really fun Bread Friend piece. Yeah, it looks like Bread Friend is on a rampage. Yeah, don't underestimate Bread Friend. Nobody knows what he's capable of. Maddo did a really fun piece of Magus Devon. Always good stuff from Maddo. And then Feckless, the Heroes of Cumberland race Feckless made a really fun. I think this Feckless made this. Just a really fun promo image of the Black Sand race that's happening in Cumberland. And then, of course, Magic Monday news happened this Monday. The treat of the week was the cassette tape, and the special guest was Cheddar B. How come Cheddar B never comes on Wizard Wednesday?
I know, right? Come on, Cheddar.
Yeah. Cheddar, you can be our special guest anytime, but I guess you only go on Magic Monday.
More like Cheddar P.
And then Artsy and Daniela Illustra have announced a Soul Season event that features a lot of the beasts. That looks awesome. Yeah, I mean Daniela Illustra's this latest beast series has been amazing. So definitely check that out. Doda, it sounds like you're back. Are you back for good or?
Yeah. And since we're on the Cult Content Chronicle, I just wanted to remind everybody about the lore cord. So we had a ton of people use it this week. Probably half the people here used it. So if you didn't hear before, we launched a Discord bot where you set it up and then you basically can just right click save lore and it will add it to the book of lore pretty painlessly once you get it set up the first time. So one of the things to talk about last week that we're going to try to do is make the book of lore a little bit more organized, so that way if you just have like pieces of artwork, it's not like it's so serious and it takes up a whole page in your book of lore. It's something that you can kind of organize as a piece of media about your wizard. So I guess I would just say add all the lore you want and we'll work on organizing it down the line, and the lore cord makes it super duper easy.
Awesome. And before we go to Sharon for a finishing bedtime story, I just want to come back to the Heroes of Cumberland for just a second. As we've gone on Feckless, I've been looking over the whole collection in OpenSea. It is such a beautiful collection, my dude. I can't believe how much work you put into this, how much creativity and beauty and comedy is in this whole collection. Like, I'm looking at one of the kobold heads and he's got like mustard on his face. It's so funny. And I love the familiars, like the little pig and the cow and the snake that's also a cucumber dog. It's just so rich and beautiful. So well done, Feckless. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, and then I don't know if Sharon's up on stage. Oh yeah, she is. You brought her up here already. Great. So Sharon's going to tell us a bedtime story, which will be really fun. Before that, I think there's a couple of market things that I wanted to share in case people are interested. One would be in AI. There's a new agent. If you're interested in AI, there's a new agent framework called AutoGen. Check it out. It's by Microsoft, and they're showing some really promising results. I know it's not everybody here is a programmer, but there's a lot of people interested in AI, and I would say it's worth a look. Another thing is a new social-fi platform dropped today called Simp. I think that's all it's called. Simple Simp, something like that. I tweeted about it earlier today. So I know you need another social-fi, like you need a hole in the head, but hey, people love to farm the new thing, and that's the new thing. So go check it out. I signed up, and it's not that different from any of the rest of them. The design's pretty good, and it looks like they're going to add a thing like rooms, sort of like words. So obviously, I think that's a good idea. So yeah, check it out. It's called Simp. I tweeted about it.
Well, Doda, just real quick, speaking of words, is there something you want to say about that real quick?
So with words, we are still handing out points every week. Stay tuned for more information on what we'll be using those for. And then the other would be, we've got some plans for a redesign. I think I have some ideas in terms of how to just organize things better, maybe change some of the mechanics with a new contract. So there's a V2 kind of like stewing around, but I think Goblin Town is going to take the bulk of my time. I'm not going to say we're for sure getting Goblin Town out before Words V2, but like that's the most likely scenario right now.
Well, I was talking about potential alpha for tomorrow, an announcement, but maybe you can't say that.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Bear,
Truly.
you know what I'm talking about.
It's on Friday.
Oh, it's on Friday. Do you want to say what it is? No.
I did. Yeah, we should be getting some marketing from a partner, which will help. And then we also, I also enabled the ability to use it on your desktop. The design's a bit wonky, but whatever, like it works. And then another part is that I took off invites as well. So like you can just send people a link and they can join, and there's no like kind of invite flow anymore. So yeah, feel free to just like hop in and use the app.
All right. Well, let's get to what you have all been waiting for. Sharon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Well, everyone, here's my latest bedtime story, and it's called Some Days Bedtime Stories with Galatea and Litho. The rain slapped her face as Galatea looked up at the cliff. Facing the west, she thought she could see trees off in the distance. All around her were boulders and rocks sticking out of the black, sandy dirt. The rain came down harder, and she could barely see what was in front of her. Galatea faced back into the wind as it hit her again. Her left hand grasped the rune of air from around her neck. Raising her right hand, she chanted her protective spell. Rise up high, from earth to sky, protect all that dwell on the inside. From east to west, from tree to rock, keep us safe, enemies be blocked. A blast of wind pushed her backwards. She glared at the dark skies while pointing her finger upwards. The metal rune in her other hand felt warm as she exclaimed, Wind and rain, leave us alone. Go around this protected zone. A soft exhale floated into the calmness. She shook her head as water exploded out from her hair. Wiping the mud and the wetness off her face, she focused on the horizon. Visibility did not improve in any direction beyond where she was standing. Opening her pouch and lifting Litho out, she said, Sorry, little guy. This is where we're going to spend the night. Litho, her bullfrog, looked around and exclaimed, What? We can't stay here. I'm hungry. Put me back. Put me back. Let's go. Galatea leaned towards Litho and said, We can't. I'm exhausted, and I don't know how far it is to the next area of water or forest. No, no, no. I want to go. I want to go now, demanded the young frog. Litho, we can't. I don't know exactly where we are, and it's not safe to keep going. I can't travel any farther today. I'm tired. No, no, no. I don't like this place. I don't like this place at all, Galatea, Litho said as he extended his head downward into the pouch and pushed. Galatea quickly wrapped her fingers around him and sat him on the ground. Litho wiggled his butt into the dirt and rolled his lip out until it quivered. Litho, some days aren't always perfect. Sometimes we don't get what we want. I can't travel any farther today. I know you don't like this place, but we have no other option. I love you, but this is where we are for the night. Leave me alone, please. Litho whined and turned around. Let me know when you are ready to talk. I would like to help you figure out how to get some food. Litho only shrugged his shoulders and made no sounds. Galatea went a short distance and picked up some large rocks. When she carried him back to where Litho was sitting, he croaked, I don't know what to do. Galatea dropped everything in her arms, sat down next to him, and replied, Let's think. What is one way you can catch bugs tonight? Well, if you make a fire, maybe some bugs will come and I can eat them. That is a great idea, Litho, except There is no wood to burn. I have an idea. I can place a spell on some rocks and have them glow with warmth. This could attract some bugs. Oh, I would like that, 'cause I am hungry and cold, cried Litho. Give me a few minutes, and soon you'll be warmer, and hopefully your tummy will be full. The frog rubbed his stomach as Galatea collected more rocks and stacked them into a pyramid. Holding the rune of air, she pointed at the rocks and said, From the power of pressure and heat you were formed, release that energy, give us light and warmth. The pile wiggled and jingled, and slowly from the inside out, it turned an iridescent blue. Instead of smoke rising up, little wisps of light danced upwards. Galatea got out her bedroll and placed it where she could feel the warmth and lay down. Litho crawled over to the rocks and watched. A brown moth flew nearby, and it wasn't long before Litho had his mouth full. After a loud burp, he snuggled next to Galatea and placed his head on her leg. A small tear ran down his face. I'm sorry, I wasn't very nice. Galatea reached down and rubbed the top of his head and said, I know you are. I also understand this isn't a fun place to spend the night. Oh, Galatea, I don't know how not to be crabby. Sitting up, she explained, Litho, not every day is going to be the best day of your life. You're going to have times or even entire days that are frustrating. Everyone faces challenges in life. Your friend Powder the cat was found in the snowy mountains. He could have died up there. Yet, how would you describe his personality? Let me think. Powder likes adventures, and he's funny. Why do you think Powder acts that way? Litho tilted his head slightly sideways, paused, and answered, Oh, because he wants to. Do you think Powder ever has frustrating days? Maybe. I'm not sure. Litho replied as he scratched his head, sat for a moment, and then continued. Yes, he does, because you said everybody does. Some days are just going to make you crabby. What about your friend Shadow, the lucky black cat? Do you think he has days that don't go his way? Oh, no, I don't think he does, because he's always alert and on guard. He is helpful to his wizard Arabella. He doesn't have time to have a bad day. You're silly. Galatea bent forward until she was looking right into Litho's eyes. Think about it for a moment. Litho, are you sure Shadow never has a frustrating day? You did say everybody has a bad day now and then, too. Yes, Shadow must have crabby days, too. Galatea nodded. Yes, I'm sure he does. I made you sad when I wasn't very nice. I don't think Shadow treats Arabella like that, replied Litho. Chances are he does, but they work out their problems with a positive attitude. Oh, like we did, Litho said while tapping his hand on Galatea's leg. Litho, you are so smart. When you have a positive attitude in solving a problem, lots of times the problem gets fixed. Oh, I get it. When I thought I was going to be hungry, I was. And when I believed I was going to eat, I did. Yes, I think you understand. This means that some days you will get frustrated. It also means you don't always get your way. Now you have some knowledge to help yourself when you have a problem. Galatea, do you ever get crabby? Oh, all the time. When we first got here, the wind and rain slapped me across the face. It hurt, and I was very frustrated. Then I thought about it, and I knew I can make the weather go around us. Lizzo smiled and replied, Galatea, thank you for helping me. Anytime, my dear friend. Galatea laid back down and announced, Time for sleep, little one. Hopefully tomorrow the sun will come out. Litho looked up and watched the blue lights dancing upwards. All was quiet until softly, boom, 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 slurp them down, boom, 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 squishy and round, boom, 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 wings or feet. They are a treat, boom, 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 boom. Bugs are yummy, boom, 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 boom. Bugs are sweet, tasty, tasty, tasty treats. The following wizards allowed me to use their familiars in this bedtime story. Acid Eater 8418, Arabella of the Hollow, and her familiar, a lucky black cat named Shadow. Red, number 150, Arch Magician Alistair of Mew, and his familiar, a male bliss cat named Powder. Thanks everyone for listening to my bedtime story.
Hey, thank you. Sharon, you are amazing.
Your
Sharon, come
voice,
read me bedtime stories tonight.
you are
Oh,
the
you're all so
spell that
kind.
warms the walks, that warms the
Thank
rocks.
you.
Oh, man.
I've been on other spaces where other communities try to do lore and read lore. Nobody has a Sharon in their community, and we do, and we are
It was
so blessed.
as good as
Thank
any
you.
audiobook I've ever listened to. I just am happy in my soul. Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for the nice, kind words.
honestly, Sharon, you need a TV show or a radio show or your own podcast or something. I mean, you're just
I do.
unbelievably
Mondays.
talented. And I just love when you do the litho voice and you sing the litho song and when you started like reciting those magical incantations, literally a cloud outside my window covered the sun for a minute. I don't know if that was just quantum synchronicity or if you're literally a wizard, but it was definitely magical. um, and yeah, I just love every time you come on stage, so thanks, Sharon.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you allowing me to read stories, and I appreciate all the people in the community that let me use their familiars. I'm only going to do one more bedtime story, and then I'm going to pause bedtime stories for a while because I'm writing 3 other stories, and I really want to progress those stories. So that's what's coming down the pipeline.
Can't wait. I'm curious, how long does it take you to write one? Like the one you just gave us. How long does it take you to write one of those?
Oh, several months where I work on it off and on. I don't work on them every day. I
Sure.
switch my writing, so like I might work on a bedtime story for one morning, and then the next morning I'm working on Kez's story,
Mhm.
where Kathleen saves him from poachers, and then I work on my the Emerald Forest. So I kind of switch back and forth and let some sleep, because sometimes when you take your writing and you just let it be quiet for a while and then you
Yep.
look at it with fresh eyes, you can see so many mistakes, or you can think of a better way for that character's voice to come out. It's amazing when you just let your writing sit, how it improves.
Totally agree. Yep. Awesome. Well, yeah, come back as soon as you finish your next one. We can't wait. It looks like we have maybe one question before we go. John Deere, did you have a question or comment?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, I guess that's it for the day. Bear, Dotta, Jitsi, Feckless. Anything else?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Happy Wizard Wednesday. Let's stay magic, everyone.
Stay magic, everybody. I'm going to play us out with this request by Jitsi. Jitsi, what's this song called? The Dayman song? Is that it?
Yeah. Damn
Okay. The Dayman. All right. This has been Elf, Bear, Dotta, Jitsi, Feckless, Sharon, Litho the Bullfrog, and all the wizards of the